Lindsay and Lois from Be Gritty Horsemanship. We're here today. We've got Myra and Max, and we are starting to put everybody back to work. We finally got a pretty decent break in the weather, so spring is sprung. Time to go back to work. So Myra's been out of work the longest, so we're going to start with her today. We're just going to kind of run through some of the stuff that we do as we're getting our horses back in shape. Today we're going to work on getting her back in the right frame of mind, work on her focus, move her feet around, do a lot of desensitizing, and just kind of our prep work before we get ready to ride.
So we know.
Yep. So we know where we're at.
Thinking, where she's at.
Yep. Have a building block. So that's what we're going to start with. What do you want to start with, Lois?
We had talked before, and you want to start with the focus.
Yep.
So what we do with that, we'll kind of explain that first.
So this is more something that we like to do just to, I like to do it a lot with a horse that I haven't worked before, a horse that I haven't, established any kind of relationship with, just to kind of get their attention a little bit and make sure that they're really focusing on me before I start any of my other groundwork. I think it's a good starting point just to kind of assess maybe how you can get a real feel for a horse when you start with it.
All we're basically wanting is her to keep her eyes on Lindsay.
Yep, and I don't want her to come towards me or move away from me. I want her to just kind of pivot.
Yep,
pivot
follow you.
And follow me.
Yep. And if she doesn't follow you, if she's not focused, Lindsay's going to just slide and kind of bump her. It's not really a pull. We're just going to bump and get that focus back on us and then leave her alone.
Yep.
It's a real good exercise that once you teach it, it gets them focused in a matter of seconds.
Yep.
No matter where they are in their mental state.
Yep.
So let's do that one first.
All right.
Okay, so before Lindsay starts the exercise, we want Myra to move out of Lindsay's space. We want her to stay about 6 to 8 feet away and keep her eyes on Lindsay. So Lindsay's going to ask her to back up, and I would slide and kind of bump her back instead of shaking. Now, let's talk about this because it's all tuning. So let's talk about this. I kind of asked you to slide and bump her back, and what did she do?
She threw her head up in there.
But what kind of energy was there in her back?
Hollow.
Yes, perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to get her attention with the back. Lindsay's going to kind of just slide down that rope maybe 6 inches below the snap, and she's going to bump her back, and she's going to walk towards her as she's backing her. If Myra's hanging on Lindsay's hand or heavy, Lindsay's going to take her excess rope that's in her right hand and tap Myra in her chest. And what that'll do is that kind of elevates that front end, helps her get on the hind end, and helps her back up freer and softer. And the second Myra does, Lindsay's going to let it all go. So go for it. Let it go. Perfect. Praise her, and then ask her again. Let it go. Perfect. So on the second one, she was a little freer. She thought about getting on her hind end quicker. We're going to ask her one more time. And see, now she's waiting on Lindsay. We've already started getting focus. Again, with this, just so we both make our point, we don't want her to be perfect. We know she's been out of work for quite a while. We just want her to start thinking about us.
Yeah, and she's not strong enough to maintain that right now for a long time.
If we allow her, if we go off the excuse that she's not strong enough, then we're creating the muscle memory that she'll be hollow when she is in better shape.
Right. What I meant, we just have to start correctly and build into...
Well, but she can do it. So the point is, we don't worry about how out of shape she is. We just take that pressure away when she's listening, and we keep things simple this first time. Because we know she's not physically fit, but she still has to get it together. So, okay, one more time. Perfect, I'll take it. And again, later on, I'll expect more from her. We'd expect a good 6-8 steps back, but she tried right there. She gave her exactly what we asked for, so we're happy with it. Okay, let's work on getting her focused.
All right.
Now this is where Lindsay's going to kind of work in a semicircle around Myra's face. She's going to be about 6-8 feet. Now Myra got too close, so back her up one more time, and this time let her slide out of your hand. Perfect. All right, so go for it.
We're shedding. I have hair all over my face.
Now Myra's following her, so Lindsay's going to bump her back. Bump her back. Bump her back. And then we're going to praise her. Now, one thing too, what Lindsay's doing with her hand is we kind of try to put exercises together. So exercises are either sensitizing or they're sacking out and working on the desensitizing. And working on her focus was sensitizing, but then when Lindsay praised her, she worked on the desensitizing, waved that hand and went in and praised her. And that kind of helps them stay nice and quiet. When things are flying in their face, they don't overreact. They relax right away and get super duper soft.
Yep.
Okay, a little more. Bumper.
Ooh.
Back up. Good. And we want to kind of catch her in the thought.
Good girl.
All right, I want you to go to
That way.
your, yeah. Now, another thing that people kind of don't think about with this exercise, because you're kind of, the point is you're ignoring them, we're working on them, keeping eyes on us. When you do ask them to back, we don't want you just to bump on her face and jerk on her. We want to actually move feet back, or you're missing the whole point. You're reinforcing with them that you can ask for something and they can completely ignore you, and you take that pressure off. So when you ask her to back up, she has to move her feet at the very least one step. She has to follow through. All right, a couple more, because she's being pretty darn good. Now, I would have waited there. I was just going to say, you beat me to the punch, go the other direction. Is I would give her the opportunity, you need to back her a little bit more. I would give her the opportunity to think about following you. You kind of wanted to bump her before you gave her that shot. I'd get behind my stirrups. And she still wants to be super duper forward. Can you feel her kind of leaning towards you?
Yeah.
So I'd back her more. You got to ask for more steps. So now, harder, a little bit harder, and then leave her alone. Make that point. And again, when we say harder, the point is you put the pressure on so you don't have to nag her 50 million times. Go the other way. Back her. A little bit more energy, more. Good. Now keep on moving. Perfect. Back her. Back her, back her, back her. Good. Nice. Don't be nice about it. You got super soft there. Loosen up your rope a little more. Now back her. She's walking forward again. Good. It's really hard when you're doing this. You got to think about 80 things. Back her. A little more pressure there. Perfect. All right, other direction. And we expect a teeny bit more from Myra. Again, she's known this for about 9-10 years. Yeah, she's been off work, but she knows the drill. And Myra likes to be a little in your space. So we want to remind her extra to be polite about our space. Now, I don't want you to take your pressure. Go ahead and praise her. And let's talk about that one more time. All right, so we're going to work on the focus exercise just one more time. And what Lindsay and I want to kind of take a second and talk about is just what Lindsay talked about in her little vlog this morning, is we're tuning also. So Lindsay's trying to find that perfect balance between just enough pressure, not too much pressure. And she's never worked with Myra on this. And and I kind of know Myra's ins and outs.
Yeah.
So Myra wants to be on top of you. Myra is used to beginners or intermediates kind of messing with her, where they kind of question what they're doing. And then she doesn't do anything bad, but she'll come into your space or not move like she should.
Right.
So I want you to follow through a teeny bit more. I don't want you to get after her more, but I want you to apply more energy.
Get a little more yes, ma'am?
Yes, because that's going to benefit you when you're riding. And again, we're all kind of rusty, and it's the whole point of tuning everybody, her and you. So let's try it one more time. Now, before you do it, what's the first thing you should do?
I'm going to back her up.
Yep, because she has to back up. Nice. Now see right there, Lindsay gave herself more energy. She stood up a little taller. She didn't question herself. And Myra was right away, yes ma'am. Tons better. It's all about your energy. And it's all about your mindset. You can't go into this, oh my gosh, it's been 4 months. Oh my gosh, it's been 5 months. I need to be easy on her. We get that. Yeah, we're not going to work her hard, but she has to focus, and we have to focus too.
Right, and I think the whole point of getting back in shape and energy is tuning. Like, the whole tuning part is figuring out how much energy and when you need to apply it.
You have to tune yourself as much as the horse.
Yep.
Okay, so one more time, I want you to back her up. Think about your energy. Good. Now, let's work on the focus. Loosen that rope more. Perfect. Don't give her, loosen it more, let it drop on the ground. You can slide and bump if you have to. Perfect, now go the other way. Let it drop on the ground. I really like my rope to hang on the ground, so there's no question about are you leading me or are you not. Go the other direction.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine, praise her, and then go the other way. Now come back this way. Speed your feet up a little bit. Stop. Go the other direction. I'm going to kind of control
I'll just
your
listen
feet
for you.
A little more speed. Back her up just because you can. Slide, bump, bump. Perfect. Let it go. Keep moving. Perfect, perfect. Move a little faster. Stop. Go the other way. Perfect. Once they really start listening, you want to add a little speed. Bump. Let it go. Good. Praise her. Perfect. Nice.
So the other thing I think that's important with this exercise too is when you have to make a correction, that you don't correct, pause, and then continue, right? Like that process.
Yes. If you're working on getting that focus, correcting is fine. You can correct all you want, but you can't stop and talk about it.
Right.
You get in, you get out. You correct and keep on asking for what you want. And then when they give you what you want, that's when that pressure comes off, and that's when you praise them. All right, so now that we've kind of worked on her focus and she's super duper lazy, we need to move her feet. When you're tuning, you're always working on moving body parts or slowing them down. We want to find that happy medium. So right now she's kind of dull.
Yeah.
And there's a little more in there than what she's showing, I'm sure. So we want to find out how much is in there. Not much, but enough. So Lindsay's going to grab her stick, and then we're going to work on just sending her around a little bit.